on mute.
Hello, we're here.
Yeah, we can see that there's about 7 folks on there. So thanks for joining us. My name's Annalisa, and I'm joined here by Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
We're going to go ahead and get started. And if other folks join on the call, that'll be great. And we are recording just so that everyone is aware, so that folks who weren't able to make it onto this call will be able to see the recording, hopefully either tomorrow or on Monday at the latest, is our plan. And so I guess with that, we'll just jump right in to try and be respectful of folks' time. So thank you again for joining us. And let's see if that works. Great. So we'll just start with some introductions. And I love to hear a little more about who's all on the call with us. So Kim and I will introduce ourselves first, and then one by one, the folks on the call, if you'd introduce yourselves as well, and we'll just do what's on the slide here. So name, pronouns, your institution, your role, whether you're a mentor, mentee, or in our case, APSA staff members. And then one sentence about why you enrolled in the program, either as a mentor or a mentee. So I'll go ahead and start. My name is Annalisa Diaz-Mandeli. My pronouns are she and her. The institution where I am is at APSA, and I'm an APSA staff member. And actually the mentor program is one of the programs that I am a coordinator for. So my relationship to the program is that I'm the coordinator for it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Annalisa. I'm Kimberly Mealy. I am the Senior Director of Diversity Inclusion here at the annual the American Political Science Association. My pronouns are she and her. I'm also very involved with working with Annalisa on the mentor program here at APSA. And I'm really excited that we're able to do this webinar as an orientation. And I'm even more excited that you all are participating.
Great. So if anyone else who's on the call,
yeah, we can see who's on the call. So what might be easiest is that we'll just call
sure.
your names, and then we'll just go kind of in a round robin style for introductions. So the first name on our list is Aaron Gold. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron Gold. My pronouns are he and him. I'm at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and I enrolled because I'm looking for a second look, outside opinion and criticism as I move from a graduate student to hopefully a professor about my research program. And
okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Aaron. Next, we see Christopher Olds is on the call.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Christopher Olds. I go by he, him, institution currently, University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. I'm a mentee looking at potential tenure track opportunities and developing networks for publishing collaboration.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christopher. Thanks for joining us. Next, we see Courtney Burns. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So yes, I'm Courtney Burns. I go by she, her. I'm at Georgia Southern University. I'm a mentee. And I joined the program because I'm looking for advice on things like work-life balance. I'm in my 4th year at Georgia Southern, and so it's more advice on tenure and promotion and just looking for an outside perspective on questions that I have.
Wonderful. Thank you, Courtney. Next, I see Greg Williams. Hi, Greg.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I just hopped on here, so I'm a little behind on what we're doing. I see that looks like we're making introductions. So
yes,
like you said, my name is Greg Williams. I'm not sure what the pronouns mean. I'm about to complete my dissertation for a PhD, and I want to teach and do research after I graduate, which will probably be early in 2018. And so that's the reason that I'm looking to get a mentor. Also, I've applied for a Fulbright scholarship in Ecuador, and so I requested a mentor that maybe had some Hispanic background, and that was what I got. So I was happy about that, and that's, I guess, all I have to say.
Wonderful. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for joining us. So the list is kind of changing depending on when people join. So I'm going to go next to Francesca Vasallo.
Hi, my name is Francesca Vasallo. My pronouns are she, her. My institution is the University of Southern Maine. My role is a mentor. I joined the program about 2 years ago when it started, and I had very good experiences so far with different PhD students I mentored, and I always get new questions about it. So that's why I wanna still do it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And then next I see Kate Petrick. Hi, Kate. I'm going to unmute you. Okay, looks like you've already done that. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Kate. I'm a doctoral candidate up at Northeastern in Boston. It's my 4th year. My pronouns are she and her. I am a mentee this year. I have sort of 2 goals for this program. One for myself, which is I am a qualitative boots in the dirt conflict scholar, and my advisor is a quantitative sit in his office and run numbers kind of a guy. So I'm hoping I have a mentor who looks like she's looking for other stuff or can address that. And then also I have just started a women in political science group at Northeastern. And so I'm hoping to get some lessons learned from the APSA mentorship relationship and then turn around and sort of push those out into my department.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for joining us. And I see Sarah Adwani. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah. My pronouns are she or her. I'm from the University of Southern California. I'm in my 5th year working on my dissertation. I'm a mentee. And, you know, I've had a great experience thus far. Things are generally going well. I mean, as well as they can when you're writing a dissertation. And I really wanted to just have someone else outside of my department and program that I could talk with about, kind of making that transition from grad student to the job market and hopefully securing an assistant professor position when I'm done.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to hand it back over to Annalisa. And if we do have some additional folks joining us, we'll try to recognize them as we go along.
Great. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the timeline briefly. The folks who are on this call should all be members of the long-term mentoring program. There is a short-term mentoring program as well. So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of what the expectations are, at least from APSA, on what the timeline will look like for the long-term mentor pairs. So as you know, in October, we made your matches by sending out emails to both mentees and mentors. And it's early November and we are doing the online orientation right now. After the orientation call, what we'd love to see happen is for mentors and mentees to discuss expectations and develop goals and plans for how you want your mentor relationship to go. Mentor relationships vary widely depending on what mentees are looking for and what mentors are able to share with mentees. And we'll send out some resources, including worksheets, to help you think through the best ways to talk about what your expectations and goals are for the mentoring relationship. We won't go through all of that right now, but again, we'll send out an email with this recording of the webinar, and then links to worksheets that you can use to help determine your expectations. And then from there, once you have that initial conversation with your mentor or mentee, It's really up to you to sort of follow the plan that you both agree on is best for your individual goals. And so that's why December through April, I've sort of left, as you see in the timeline, you can meet by phone, by Skype, by email, or some folks I know are already planning to meet in person. That's certainly not expected, but if you happen to be in the same city, in-person meetings are great. What we'd suggest is just make sure that you're following the plan that you agree on initially, and really looking at the expectations that you set up from the beginning so that there's no confusion about who should be doing what or what you agreed on. That's really why the plan and goals at the beginning are very important. Moving on, January 2018 is National Mentoring Month, and APSA will be doing a social media campaign. This is optional for you to participate in. Either mentees or mentors, you will reach out to you again in January to ask for any sort of success stories, or if mentees want to recognize their mentors, we'd be happy to share stories on APSA social media about the mentoring program that we're running here. And then the last piece of the program will happen toward the end of the spring semester, so around May 15th, we'll send an evaluation to both mentees and mentors so that we as APSA staff members can learn a little bit about the experience that you've had and then use that to evaluate the program and make changes for next year. This is the first time that we've actually done the mentoring program in this sort of discrete time frame. So we're really excited about the possibilities that we have for evaluation. And we really hope that when you get that email in May that you'll take some time to thoughtfully fill it out for us so that we can continue to improve the mentoring program for APSA members. And then finally, again, this is optional. If you happen to be able to attend the annual meeting, which next year is in Boston, every year we do a mentor networking reception and you'll get an invitation to that, and we hope to see you in person in Boston toward the end of August next year. Kim, do you have anything to add?
I think you covered all of the major points. I would just reiterate the point about the evaluation that we do. We really value and appreciate the feedback and input from any APSA member or participant in the programs that we run here at APSA. And it helps us, as Annalisa mentioned, to improve the program or update it or take into consideration the experiences that you have. So when you do receive that, please make sure to fill it out. And then again, the annual meeting, we've been doing the mentor reception for a number of years now, and it's very popular, it's very inclusive, it's an open environment for folks just to come in. All are included. It's not only for APSA mentors or mentees, but really it's supposed to be kind of an on-the-site organic mentoring opportunity, or if you just have a question or you want to connect with folks. So we do encourage you, if you are in Boston this coming fall, to make sure to be in attendance. Thank you.
Great. And we'll have time for questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to move on, but if you do have questions about the timeline, we'll make sure to leave time at the end for those. Great. So I'm going to share just a little bit of information from the Center for the Improvement of Mentored Experience and Research, also known as CIMR. They have been, actually, Kim, maybe you can talk a little bit. I think you have a better understanding of what they are and what their history is. They're one of the leaders in mentoring research. Can you share a little bit about who they are?
Sure. The director is Christine Fund, and she and her colleagues out at the University of Wisconsin have been kind of trailblazing in terms of research in effective mentoring, what constitutes a vital or an effective or a productive mentoring experience. And they've been working with a number of different associations, APSA included. Also, the American Sociological Association has worked with them. The biological sciences group has also worked with them, and they really do a wonderful job of providing information that is helpful for individuals that are about to embark upon a mentor experience, either as the mentor or as the mentee. And so Annalisa and I have had a chance to have a number of discussions with them over the previous year. And so here are some of the information that they have shared with us.
Great, thanks, Kim. What I wanted to share here is how SIMR defines mentoring. And I wanted to emphasize that they point out that mentoring is a collaborative learning relationship. So it's not a one-way street just from the mentor to the mentee. According to SIMR, the most successful mentoring relationships really are mutual. Which is why we've suggested that one of the first things that you do in your mentor relationship is to take the time to have a conversation about what your shared goals are for the duration of the time that you'll be working together. I'm going to just move on to the next one. Great. And again, like I mentioned earlier, mentoring relationships vary widely depending on the needs of the mentee and who the mentor is. The following skill areas are some places that SIMR suggests mentoring relationships might be effective. So not every mentor relationship has to hit each of these bullet points, but certainly could target one or two of the sort of skill areas. So if I'm a mentee and I'm really looking to improve my research skills from the outset, I could have a conversation with my mentor and say, I'm really looking at improving research skills. And if that's what I'm defining from the beginning, there's a clear understanding that that's the goal that we're working on for the duration of the mentor relationship. And so again, I'll send out these slides along with, actually there's a fuller list of potential skills that could be developed over the course of a mentoring relationship. So I'll send that out to everyone on the call and to the rest of the mentees and mentors who aren't able to join us as sort of a way of thinking through what you might define as goals, because sometimes you'll hear this with mentees, that mentees think they want only one thing out of a mentoring relationship, but don't even realize that they could be asking their mentor for other things. Or conversely, a mentor might think, oh, well, I can only give this knowledge area, but not realize that they have skills in other areas that they might be able to share with their mentees as well. But again, those are things that you'd want to talk about at that first meeting where you define your goals and what your expectations are.
And I would also like to add on to Annalisa's description of the skills that we're looking at here. Again, this is not a complete list. It's not an exhaustive list. And also I would encourage or kind of caution the mentees as well as the mentors that are on the call to understand that it's possible and actually likely that not one mentor will be able to provide you mentoring in each of these areas or in all the areas that you're looking for a mentor in. So in other words, I always encourage the mentees that they should think about their mentoring relationship as they would think about their financial portfolio or your investments. And it's always encouraged that you should diversify your portfolio. And so I always encourage mentees to diversify your mentor portfolio. So it could be that the mentor that you've signed up with or that we've actually matched you with here at the APSA is someone that would be able to focus on research skills and maybe interpersonal skills, but you still need some additional mentoring in another area, like fostering your independence when speaking to colleagues at a conference. And it could be that you find another individual, perhaps a faculty member at your home institution, perhaps a peer mentor, a colleague that you are in graduate school with, or a friend that's at another graduate school institution that can actually serve as an advisor or a mentor in that other skill area. So, just to kind of make sure that we don't have expectations that are too overly high for any one mentor, I would encourage you to kind of make sure that your expectations are clearly outlined and that the mentor understands those as well. And if there's some need that still needs to be met, then perhaps you could ask the mentor where I can find someone that can help me with a following skill or an additional area of concern. Okay, I see that we do have a question, and we're going to try to address that. I think it's from Sarah. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, can you give like an example of some of these, maybe from past years, mentor-mentee relationships? I guess in particular, the research skills really stands out to me because that wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I signed up for this. But if that's an option, I think that would be really great. But I guess I'm curious, kind of like, yeah, how have people, like, what does that look like in the past for research skills? I mean, or for any of them, really. I mean, I guess just generally, if you have any examples.
Sure. Thank you for that question. So with regards to when you first sign up for the mentor program as a mentee and also as a mentor, there's a very extensive form that you're all familiar with that we ask you to specify what your areas of concern are, or your needs, or your questions, different topics based on professional development areas, subject content areas, and then you also have an opportunity to fill in a specific question. And so from time to time, we'll hear individuals that will highlight the area that has to do with research or with a particular area of study. Say they're looking into international security, and they want someone that will be able to read over a draft of a paper as they prepare for a conference. That might be an example of someone that would be seeking mentoring in the area of research skills or developing a disciplinary focus within that particular area. We also have mentors and mentees that are looking to work with each other in the area of teaching and learning, for example. So someone potentially may submit a request that says, I'm about to teach 2 new courses. I'm a new junior faculty member at this institution. I've never taught in this area, and I need a mentor to kind of help me or to work with me on not only how I can be successful as a junior faculty member, but how I can make sure that the teaching and learning component of my portfolio fits in nicely with my research portfolio. Another example I would say are, just looking at the list here, in terms of sponsorship skills, fostering mentees' independence, or promoting professional development. We have a number of mentee requests that deal with going on the job market, or being able to communicate your research interests in an elevator pitch or at a conference, or, hey, I'm about to go participate in APSA's eJobs interview service on site at the annual meeting, and I need some tips from a seasoned faculty member or from a faculty member who may actually be sitting on a faculty search committee. And so those are examples of how we might take what's listed in a mentee profile and help to match that individual up with a mentor who has expressed some expertise in the areas that the mentee is looking for guidance in. And then also a number of the skills that are listed here, like the psychosocial skills or the interpersonal skills, I would say are added values to your mentor relationship. So in essence, hopefully by the end of this experience, and then for anyone that's actually been a mentor of another individual or has already been a mentee in a previous mentee-mentor relationship, you probably would have noticed that as a result of that experience and as a result of that collaboration, you have developed additional skills with regards to listening actively or communicating your research area or your job interests in a clear and concise way, or either, even developing more confidence in your abilities as a researcher, or more confidence when going out on the job market. So those are a few examples that I would have to offer. I'm hoping that that answers your question, Sarah.
Sorry, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll hand it back over to Annalisa.
Great. I'm actually going to move on to the next slide, which is, we're already at the key takeaways from the webinar. So we've mentioned this already, but just to re-emphasize that all of your mentoring relationships will look different, and that's a good thing. Like we've said, they'll depend on your individual needs and how you discuss them with your mentor or mentors, how you discuss what you expect out of the relationship with your mentee. And a key to success is defining clear expectations, goals, and a plan at the beginning of the relationship. So we hope that you'll all leave the webinar today and set up a time for a conversation between mentors and mentees about what you expect from the mentoring relationship. And finally, another key to success is open communication and respect of each other's time. We know that email inboxes get crazy and everybody is doing a bunch of different things all at the same time, working on dissertations, working on research, grading papers. So we hope that this relationship is open and respectful of how many different things everybody is committed to, because we know that if we are communicating clearly, then there will be less chance for misunderstandings down the line. And Kim has something to add. Thank you.
And just to follow up on Annalisa's points regarding the key takeaways, I would also just encourage you to treat this as this experience as another component of your your day-to-day job. So either as a graduate student or a junior faculty or as a professor, you may consider actually adding in times and dates of when you and your mentee or you and your mentor will be communicating. So if, as Annalisa mentioned, after you set out your clear expectations and you kind of have, you and your mentor or mentee agree upon a common set of goals or skills that you will be discussing over the semester or the year, it would be helpful at that point, then to say, okay, given both of our schedules, perhaps we can set aside a time, maybe once every 2 weeks to talk over the phone, or once a month, or, even Skype. There's so many opportunities now to communicate that maybe were not available when I was in graduate school. So I would say take advantage of Skyping or Google Groups or things like that to make it more easy for you and your mentor or you and your mentee communicate. And also, as Annalisa mentioned, respecting each other's time. So going back to Sarah's question about examples of some of those skills and skills development, it's highly possible that as meetings come up, conferences come up, you might want your mentor to review a draft of your paper or a draft of your job talk or something similar to that. And if that is the case, it's highly recommended that you give your mentor enough time to review that document. So you could even have a discussion as to what works for the mentor. If I get you my paper a month out, is that sufficient, or would you like more time? And so that would be very important to kind of outline from the beginning in terms of having a successful mentoring relationship and making sure that you respect each other's times. And then on the flip side, as a mentor, it's important that you are able to have completed whatever that that particular task was that you and the mentee had agreed on. So grading comes up, teaching, conferences, committees, service on your university campus. So if it is the case that you need to block out some time to read your mentee's PowerPoint or document, make sure you do that as well so that you're ready when you and your mentee are speaking over the phone, and that it'll be the most effective and productive communication possible.
Great. Thank you. Okay, let's see. How much time do we have? Oh, good. We've got plenty of time for question and answers. So if there are any questions right now, we'd love to answer them from anyone that's on the call. I think there's a raise your hand button if you can see that, or if you're not on a computer, feel free just to unmute yourself. And if anyone has any questions, we'd love to take them now. No questions? Sound like it.
Okay, so I don't hear that there are any questions. Are there any, would anyone like to share an example of a positive mentor experience or a challenge that they had with the mentor experience that potentially some of what we talked about today could address? Okay, it looks like we're all set.
Very thorough.
Yes, so Annalisa, why don't you chat about the mentoring resources?
Sure, yeah, like I mentioned already, I'll be sending out links to a variety of resources. Most of these are already up on our website, which I've included here, which is just apsanet.org/mentoring resources. And in the email that I send out to follow up, we'll also have a recording of this webinar. And then I believe I mentioned this already too, there will be 2 worksheets, one for mentees and one for mentors, that are meant to help you think through what your goals and expectations might be to prepare for the conversation with your mentee or mentor about defining those together. So those 2 worksheets will just help you think through what all the possible goals and expectations might be. There's also a great suggestion on these worksheets to think about just defining at the outset what are maybe some hot button issues that you don't want to talk about with your mentor and mentee, so that you know, sort of like setting boundaries for what is possible, what are possible topics and what really aren't within the bounds of this relationship. So they're really great worksheets, and we hope that you'll use them as needed. And if you have any questions after today, Kim and I are always available. If you email diversityprograms@apsanet.org, or I think you all at this point have both of our email addresses, so we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and thank you, Annalisa. I would also just add that you should consider this a professional relationship that you're embarking upon. And I know that you already are thinking along those lines. But just in terms of academia or the professional world, relationships that you develop with any member within the association or another member, or another faculty member, another student, can actually lead to additional networking possibilities, can lead to the possibility of you and your mentor potentially becoming research collaborators, or working together on a paper. That's another one of the positive added values that could come from a mentor relationship. So as you go into this experience, I would think about it along those lines, that, you know, this is a potential collaborator, a partner, someone that you will be in touch with, that you can speak with and kind of communicate with back and forth regarding you know, your progress and your advancement throughout the discipline. You know, whether it is within academia or outside of academia, we do have options for mentees and mentors that are also looking for opportunities outside of academia as well. So we do hope that this will be a very fruitful program for you. And as Annalisa mentioned, we welcome any comments or questions, or you know, if you just have a random question or something, you know, isn't quite going right, or you're just curious about something, please feel free to reach out to us. That's why we're here. And we look forward to hearing from you. And I think that's all I have. Annalisa, do you have anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. One last chance for anyone else to have a comment or a question. Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. And Lisa, I'll hand it back to you to close out.
Yeah, oh, is that a question? Maybe not. Great. Well, in that case, we'll be following up with an email to with all of those resources. Again, either today, tomorrow or Monday at the latest, I'm hoping. And with that, I think we'll close early and let everyone get on with the rest of their days. And we hope that your first conversation between your mentee and your mentor to define your expectations happens soon and goes really well. We're wishing you the best here from APSA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.